the betting, the not so much anymore, is more down to my own fault. I need to get studying again to get the edge back. But yeah, it's a great product. I love the exchange. It's really, in my opinion, one of the better bookmakers, if not the best bookmaker out there.
We're on to race number 2 now. It jumps at 1,300. It's the off-the-rails maiden handicap for fillies and mares over 1,400 meters. And recently, Graham, these maiden handicaps, they've been throwing out some results. The form sometimes not coming to the fore. Not easy to assess here.
Yeah, in Cape Town they call them special weights races. At least here we call them what they are, maiden handicaps. Yeah, they can throw out some funny results. And of course, the obvious horse on form here is number 1, Sea of Tears. Got the draw, got the rider, Muzi Yeni aboard. He's, all the form points to number 1, Sea of Tears, but carrying 60 kilograms and conceding weight all round. We've seen some of these in-form top weights getting undone in these maiden handicaps. So number 1, Sea of Tears, definitely my first choice, but I wouldn't be surprised to see a funny result.
Yes, my first selection is number 2, Dilla from the Dennis Bosch yard, and I'll tell you why. I know the form doesn't jump out at you, but if you look at that penultimate run over 1,400 meters, I don't think it was a bad effort behind Sea Cruise, finishing 3.4 lengths. And if you look at the computer form, this tops the speed ratings, the computer form speed ratings at 41. Now, I know number 1, Sea of Tears, is also on a mark of 41, but this only shoulders 54.5 kg. So I think the weight's going to make a massive difference there, and it's got a good draw, so I'm hoping that this one can run an absolute cracker.
Well, you could be spot on the button, because if you go back to the 6th of November, Sea of Tears and Dilla ran against each other, and in fact Mission Rocks was in the same race. It was admittedly over 200 metres short, over 1,200 metres, but that was a fair dinkum maiden plate where they all carried level weights, and Sea of Tears was well clear of Dilla on that occasion. But as you've mentioned, there's now a 5.5 kilogram pull in the favour of number 2, Dilla, so that's going to bring Sea of Tears and Dilla very much closer together. Just having a look at the betting, obviously Sea of Tears is the early favourite. Number 2, Dilla, around 4-1. 3 Lots of Magic is at 5-1. 6 Mission Rocks is at 5-1. And 7 Little Lady is at 15-2. So those are the ones that are quoted in single figures. Certainly Lots of Magic might have scope for improvement.
Yeah, 100%. Another one that you got to include at around about 6-1, that's lightly raced. And another horse that you cannot leave out of your trifectas and quartets is the stable companion to number 2, Dilla. That is number 5, Adelante from the Dennis Bosch yard, with Atandiwe Magudla aboard. Again, the form doesn't jump out at you on paper. The last run was beaten 28.75 lengths, and this is trading at around about 16-1. This horse is definitely better than that. If you go back in the form lines, if you dig deep and you go back to the 25th of October 2022, now at the 400 meter mark, this horse was in front, leading by 1.3 lengths. Then if you look at that form line on the 19th of September, at the 400 meter mark, this horse was in front, and those were both over 1,700 meters. Now, the drop-in trip to 1,400 meters, a reasonable draw, small field, only shouldering 55.5 kgs with Atandiwe Magudla aboard, who's riding extremely well. I think a repeat effort of those kind of performances will see this horse featuring in the money.
And talking about stable companions, the favourite, number 1, Sea of Tears, also has a couple of stable companions. Number 4, Pixie in Love, who's yet to show. But number 8, Pretty Analia, worst of the draw in a small field. There is a form update, ran 5th. Under 4 lengths behind the Ideal Gift, and that was on the 8th of January. Stips a very fit horse. So it is a maiden handicap, and as such, it's pretty open. Sea of Tears looks the obvious choice. Devon is in the camp of number 2, Dilla, but don't be surprised if there's a bit of a turn-up.
It's Donovan Everett from Cape Racing, and I'd just like to say it's an absolute pleasure to be involved with Intrabet and Cape Breeders in this golf day today here at Pearl Valley. It's fantastic for the industry to see all the relevant stakeholders coming down and having a good time and networking, and it's exactly what the industry needs right now in terms of moving forward and recreating some positivity to take us forward into the next year.